League of Champions.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Celtic Rumours TV, the match edition programme, with your host Mark and myself, Paul. Today we will do a preview with Brian Welsh from the forum. 12 o'clock will be a watch along with myself, Paul. Half-time analysis with Mark and Brian. Second half watch along with myself and Paul. A full-time analysis with Mark and Brian again. Our podcast episode 14 will be going live here at 6 p.m. where we have a live phone-in match reaction on today's Celtic and Rangers game. Mark, Brian, welcome to the show again.
Brian, I've not got Brian in yet, Paul. I'll just go and get him in. How are you doing today, Paul?
I'm good, and to say I'm excited is an understatement, I think. You know?
Forward to it.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to see Forrest back. You know, see if he makes a difference, Mark.
Hopefully. I've never really been a big fan of Forrest in the Rangers games. He seems to hide a lot in them for me. He's never really been that effective in them. But we've got a few players like that, really. I mean, I keep harping on about McGregor. He's had a bad season, but has McGregor ever really turned it on and dominated a game against Rangers?
No, I think it's always kind of the midfield. We never seem to dominate, really, Mark, isn't it?
I think that's Brian. No, you there, Brian?
How are you doing?
Oh, morning, Brian.
Brian, we'll start with yourself. Welcome to the show again. Your thoughts on the starting lineup?
What's that?
What's your thoughts on the starting lineup?
To be honest with you, I thought that's what it would be. I don't know, it's difficult to decide who you would change in that, to be honest. I mean, I know the one. Storrow's probably the one I'd brought in. But no, quite happy with the lineup. Glad Forrest is back.
Yeah, we were just saying that, like, could he make a difference considering the last two Old Firm games we had? No, not Old Firm, Glasgow Derbies, he called them. Considering them that there was no West in the team, so hopefully he can provide the West that we need. You know, I think a big plus as well that Laxell isn't playing, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, well, Kenny doesn't seem to go down the wing very often, does he? He sort of holds back a lot. I think Forrest being there gives us that out ball. We need to start getting balls into the boxes. We've seen how good LNFC is at coming into the back post. So,
Matt, we were expecting Brung to start anyway, weren't we? There was no surprise there that Brung was going to start.
No.
Instead, you know?
I wasn't surprised at all that Brown's starting. No surprised that Taylor was starting either after Laxalt's performance in the last game. I think I said it at the time that was going to be the weak link. It proved to be that. So, well, Kennedy's obviously learned for that, which is a good thing. I think Taylor will put in a lot better defensive performance than Laxalt did.
And is you right to start with Edward up front rather than Griffiths? Brian?
I don't know. I just hope Edward comes in and gives us one last big performance against him. Griffiths always tramping at the bit. Everybody, plenty of people said it on the forum. Griffiths seems to get better the less he plays. You know, it's just I get shot at Griff. Definitely got to go. Edward's going. On his day, he's still by far the best striker we've got. So let's hope he pulls his finger out today.
Exactly. And Mark, like, there's not much really of a surprise in the lineup, is there? You know, it's kind of the same for the last 2-3 Celtic Rangers matches, isn't it? There's kind of the same lineup bar Forrest and Taylor. There's nothing surprising out of Kennedy.
No, I think that's the team that most people would have picked herself.
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't. Right, everybody's saying, "Oh, Sorrow should be playing instead of Brown." That was never going to happen. That was if we to pick, if we to pick the team we want it and the team we expect it. I think this is the team we didn't expect it.
And going by the last Celtic and Rangers matches, when I was talking to you before them, you know, you were optimistic about this team stepping up and getting a performance out of them. I expect them to step up in this game, Brian.
They
Or is
always
it
in a performance.
say,
They always win, especially these. They always win. You know, you look at that team, man for man. You know, you go up against anybody in the league with that team. Anybody. We should be. I said last time that the Celtic turn up, Celtic win. I still feel that's the same. We turn up today, we win. We just need a bit of a battle, a bit of fight, and a bit of effort, which has been lacking, especially in the games against them. You know, I mean, you can look at some of the things that happened over the season where the defence has been shot. There's been a lot of mistakes made and stuff like that. But you can counteract that if there's been effort put in. The effort's still been put in. So, you know, if we lose day 1-0 and we've absolutely destroyed them because we turned up because of the shitty, you know, mistake at the back, then so be it. But just turn up, get stuck into them for once.
yeah, to get stuck in is the kind of. And Mark, do you think this is this match Celtic making a statement for next season that they're still the number one team in Scotland, or as people are saying on Twitter and media, that it's a meaningless game? What's your thoughts on that? People saying it's a meaningless game.
Oh, there's never a meaningless game against them. Even in 10 and 6s, it wasn't meaningless games against them.
Boys score steadily wins.
But as Welshy says, if Celtic turn up, they win. But it's just again if they turn up, because they've not turned up enough this season. I mean, on paper, that team, Welshy said that should beat any team in Scotland if the
Exactly.
players turn up and play to their capabilities, but they've just not been doing that.
You said before they put the marker down for the next season as well. Everybody, we're written off this season. This team's not even going to be together next season.
Yeah.
I think it's just for us fans. I mean, the shitty season we've had and the way it's gone, this team always won. Let's go, you know, people get up in the morning and be happy tomorrow for a change.
And Mark, do you think, like, a lot of people have been saying, put Chris Sawyer out to right back and drop Kenny and maybe put Beaton in the centre? For me, that's suicidal, putting Beaton.
I wouldn't have done that either. I don't.
You know.
I mean, Ayer played well at right back, but if we'd a better quality centre half than Beaton, I would have went with that. But no, I know we not to put Beaton in. No, so there'd been
just one problem to another.
There'd have been some amount of moaning about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People are saying, "Oh, the free for everybody saying he should have played Beaton." There'd be two of them that would have been moaning like hell if they had have picked Beaton.
That's it. Like, I think Kennedy's in a no-win situation with the lineup. You know that they're expecting changes, but what changes can he do when the same players are there? And you know, like this.
I mean, we've said it before. We've got a bloated squad, but there's not enough quality in it. There's definitely not enough centre halves in it. Be what happened with Duffy this season. I hear he's actually moved back down to England already. Somebody said that to me. I don't know if that's true or not. Right?
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah.
Just what I'm saying. He's limited to who he can pick, especially in a game like this. He's in a no-win situation. See if he'd made a chopped and changed and say like played young Dembele or whatever, and we get pumped, he'd have been crucified for it.
You've got to think as well. I mean, we've actually what I watched this season with Welsh. You know, I mean, he's come through. But if he had come through, where would we be back?
I'd give him player of the year.
He's been brilliant.
For the simple reason he's a young boy that's come into a team that's playing poor, and he's been one of the better players in it. I'd go for my player of the year, young Welsh.
Yeah, exactly. And he has bought.
Anybody else deserves it. Maybe you could make a case for.
No, Welsh definitely has made a difference. That defence has a stability in defence, Brian, hasn't he? Since he came in.
100%. I think we want to watch with Welsh. You know, he's got his he's probably got the game time that he wasn't expecting. I mean, Duffy was meant to come in and be the man, but he's not. And Welshy stepped up to the plate, and he's in all fairness, he's not done a lot wrong. He's
fair,
at the back there.
Would you think there'd be any chance of Welsh going to the Euros with Scotland, that he's done so well with Celtic this season, or will he be overlooked that he's too young? Or
no, he won't go there. Can't see it. I'm glad, and I'd rather he didn't, to be honest with you, because he needs to get ready for next season for us.
Mm-hmm. And do you think the new manager would be watching Mark with this match, new manager, director of football, whoever? Do you think they're going to be watching this match, or have they been watching matches?
I think they'll have been watching games, and they'll definitely be watching this game. Everybody in Britain will be watching this game today, wouldn't they?
I think everyone will be watching this game, having subtitles on when Chris Boyd is speaking.
Maybe they're listening to you, Paul.
I wouldn't mind seeing one of the things for us in one of these games, to do with the Arsenal and stuff like that. You certainly wouldn't want to put a camera in my room.
I like to see Petrov on, because I think Petrov actually gives a good view on Celtic, don't he? Petrov, don't he?
He talks well, Petrov, about the game and how it should be played, and I like Petrov as a pundit.
He never kind of went into coaching or anything like that, did he? I know he had his few mishaps of illness and stuff like that, but he never kind of pursued a coaching thing, did he? Petrov?
I know he know.
Well, have you started already, or are you still a bit sober?
Yeah, one at a time, mate. One at a time. I'm getting ready for this, but I'm actually looking forward to it. I mean, I'm up this morning, crack it on, ready for it.
And I just want to talk.
I think there's no meaningless game against these. Let's get stuck into them.
I just want to talk to you about Kenny. Like, he's come a lot of criticisms in these two games, saying that he was exposed for the last 2 goals against them. Is that due to the fact that he's not getting cover on the wrist? Like the likes of James Forrest. Now we know James Forrest likes to track back as well. Will that benefit Kenny being able to push forward and think?
The own goal that he scored at Ibrox the other week, I blame Laxalt for that. Again, it came down our left wing, and Kenny should have done better to get in front of his man, a bit more physical kind of idea, but it was still down that left wing that exposed us.
Yeah, and do you think Taylor will? Well, we're hoping really Taylor kind of provides kind of stability to that left back position.
He's a better defender. That's the main thing. I keep saying it. I would like my defenders to defend first. Anything is a bonus. And Taylor's a much better defender than Laxalt.
And what's your thoughts with the Kennedy situation, Michael?
Kennedy or Kenny?
Kenny.
I mean, the boy's coming with a good reputation. He's just, the first few games he was flying. I think he's been unlucky in that he's come into a team where he's had priority Christie in front of him, which has not helped him. It's just, this game today will help him a lot better. He'll be able to defend and not have to worry about up and down so much.
That's the kind of that's what I was thinking. Like, the way he was so kind of caught because there was no kind of cover in front of him, and there was always kind of 2 players covering on him. But with James Forrest there, like he'll provide that kind of cover as well, because Forrest likes to track back as well.
It's not just that. You'll find Forrest as well when he pins the wing. You'll pin that Barisic, so pin him back a bit more. So you'll not get 2 men coming on Kenny constantly. You need somebody to pull them away.
Christie's playing out on the right. He's always looking to come inside. So that's leaving him. Do you know? That's leaving Kenny exposed.
We're actually on the phone today about Christie. What was that with the shots? How many shots Christie has
scored?
Yes.
We can't even mind the numbers, but he'd only had 1 shot and goal, 1 shot and target, some like 50 odd shots outside the box.
If you watch it,
he seems to have calmed it down a bit the last few weeks. So had Neil Lennon tell him, I want you to do the kind of job Chris Commons done for us, and Kennedy's come in and said, no, we don't want that for you.
But if you watch it, like, you can see
That's how they're flying in it disguises how many times he's doing it. You know what I mean? And when they're not flying in it, actually, it highlights it even more.
Exactly, and you could see, like, there was players there like that were waiting for a pass for him when the pass was on, and they were in better positions maybe to cross the ball or thing. But he always seemed to take a shot on when there wasn't a
That's the
shot.
problem. People stop making them runs when he does that. That's the, your striker's sitting there thinking, what's the point? You know, your midfielders are thinking, what's the point? He's going to shoot. You know, there needs to be balance there.
Exactly. I think the key thing about today's game is, and it's always with a Celtic and Rangers game, is the battle of midfield, and we need to win that today, don't we? We need Callum Mack and Scott Brown to really take hold of that midfield situation, Mark, don't we?
Oh, definitely. We said it in the last game as well. That's where the battle would be lost or won, and we lost it. Just again, Brown just never really seemed to get the hold in the game that he likes today. I'd like to see Brown step up today. It's his last big hurrah kind of thing. I know he'll get his final farewell and all that when the last game at Parkhead, but this is his last chance to show that he's still, well, he's not really the main man in Scotland now, but that he was the main man. Welshy says, give the fans something to smile about. They owe us a performance today. They owe us to go out there and fight for every single ball and no stop running for 90 minutes. They owe the fans a performance today.
Just look up.
The starting lineup have been here and done that with Celtic. They know what this game's all about. You know, it's not like there's some new boys in there or best of stuff. They know what this game's all about. They know what it means to us.
You know, short, yeah, exactly. I agree totally out, Brian, that they should know how much this game means to the fans, and it's really a win-win. It has to be a win-win situation for Celtic here, because we can't go defeated in every single game against Rangers this season. You know, like, Rangers going unbeaten against us in the whole season is unthinkable, really, Mark, isn't it?
The frustrating part for me is that these, especially when the foreign boys come in, these are the games that are all beamed all around the world. These are the games that, if they want to get their moves and show how good they are, these are the games they need to be up for. You know?
True. Yeah, exactly. Mark?
Well, it's probably one of the only games that a lot of people rate Scottish football on. It's about Welshy's saying, he's right. I mean, if Edward comes out today, fingers crossed, bangs in a hat trick, he's on news all over the world for doing it. Do you know what I mean? But
sorry, Mark. Look at Dembele. He scored against them constantly. He scored in Europe. That's what got him his move. It wasn't scoring against St Mirren or Hamilton.
No.
Days and scoring in Europe. You know, the games that matter to people outside who are watching it.
He stepped up in the big games, didn't he, Dembele, didn't he? He really stepped up in the big games. You know? I think that was the same with Gary Hooper as well, wasn't it? He stepped up in the big games for Celtic as well, and, well, he didn't really get a big move, and his career kind of went downhill when he left Celtic. But he was another player who actually stepped up in these big games, was Gary Hooper as well, wasn't he? You know?
Well, Hooper was like Griffiths, wasn't he? I mean, Griffiths stepped up in a lot of the big games for us as well. Hooper was like that, but, well, Hooper and Griffiths were never going to get fees like Dembele got, but bang on what you're saying there. These are the games, these games and the European games and that's where scouts and managers will take notice of players.
Brian, do you know anything about the Lee Griffiths situation? You know, I thought the deadline was going to be on Friday. Have you heard anything? Has he been offered a new contract, or are they waiting for the new manager to come in and offer him that position?
I've not heard anything at all. No, obviously the financial side of things will be Celtic will make that with or without the new manager. How much they're going to pay him if they want to keep him. I mean, I gave up with Griffiths a long time ago. I mean, I like everybody else loved what he done for us. I mean, he's got to give him his bitterly what's happened with his mental health and stuff like that. But the fact is, we were up to a 10 in a row season, and he knew that he was going to be second choice striker. He should have been banging that door, don't he? And Edwards hardly set the hair on fire. So it's a perfect chance for Griffiths to come in and make that his own, and he's not done it.
Especially when the club have been so good to him, John. He's his very, very bad spell of mental health. Like the club gave him time off, they looked after him, they helped him. You would expect a better response for him coming into this season, Mark, would you? Like his lack of fitness coming in the season, his attitude this season, it's just been unthinkable for a professional player to come in with like that into a full season, isn't it?
Oh, you hit the nail on the head there. It's unprofessional. That's what it is, Paul. Complete unprofessionalism. But Edward, if Griffiths had been playing well, it keeps Edward on his toes, and that's no
Yeah,
Griffiths.
because
Just
realistically, that we do have uh, but mostly like Griffiths is one of the best finishers in Scotland, without a doubt. And for him not to put pressure on Edward is just unbelievable, isn't this, Brian?
Griffiths is a wee bit older and looks back in his career. He'll kick his own backside for this season. I think he'll say that. Whether I don't know whether it is mental health what part that's played in it, and not going to get into that side of things, but if he'll look back in this and this will have been one of the bit, considering we were going for the 10 plus his actual own levels of performances in that, this will be Griffiths' like one of the worst seasons of his career, I'd reckon.
Definitely. No, I want to move on to Edward, and he hasn't stepped up this season, but you could see why John Kenny has picked him, because he can produce something magic, something, but he hasn't really even been doing that, Brian, has he, this season, producing this moments of magic? But are you expecting him or hoping that he turns up today?
Hoping. I'm not expecting anything from him, to be honest, because he's not actually done it. It's like Mark said before. You say about picking Edward. What's your choice, Griff? He's actually, the competition's just not been there.
Yeah.
And he's never get into a week thinking, it doesn't matter. I'll struggle to play next week, but he's guaranteed to play next week. He's guaranteed to play the week after.
Don't you think that's it? Like, do you think that Edward actually knows that he won't be dropped no matter how bad he plays, Mark?
I think he does know that. Edward, I think that's the kind of attitude he's kind. When you look at his body language and that, he doesn't seem interested, and he knows that he's not going to get dropped for it. Because there's nobody snapping at his heels. Griffiths, maybe Griffiths isn't fit to play 90 minutes. Maybe that's how Edward's playing.
Yes, he's not fit for that. Yes, you can actually see by looking at him, he's not fit. He wasn't even fit when he came into the club, Brian, was he? Yes, he.
That's the most baffling sight I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you.
Myself and Mark were talking about like that. It was supposed to be a loan. Then it was an option to buy for 5 million. That was Neil Lennon that pushed for the deal. Sure to go, get him on loan, pull in a buying clause to buy him, and have look at him during the season, and then make your decision. Like 5 million is a lot of money for Celtic to be buying a player, Mark, isn't it?
Oh, it's a lot of money. And said the other night, it was a weird decision why Lowell sanctioned spending. If they're trying to negotiate in the loan deal, and then just in the drop of a hat, it agreed to pay £5 million for him.
For a boy who sat for 12 months as well.
What was that, Brian?
He sat on the bench at West Ham for 12 months.
Aye.
Exactly. And I think that looking at the bench, we have Mickey Johnson. So we actually on the bench today. I know he hasn't performed in it. I know he's lightweight, but it is an option for a bit of wit as well for substitutions to come on if we actually need that, because we didn't have it this season. We tried to play everything down the middle, and Celtic can't really play that way, Brian. So they can't down the middle.
No, it's good to have Johnson back on the bench, to be honest with you, especially coming into a game like this. He's young, he's Scottish, he's not played for a while, he must be keen. There's no doubt the boy's got talent. You can talk about his lightweight and this, that, and the other, but the boy can play. So and also the fact is, he knows he's going to be here next season, so he knows he wants to come in, and he knows it's Rangers. So however the game's going, 15, 20 minutes to go, half an hour to go, whatever it might be, he's a great option to have on the bench.
I agree with that.
We've not had any at all on the bench for the last few months.
Are you optimistic, guys? Mark?
I'm always a bit optimistic, quietly optimistic. I'm not going to say we'll hammer them or that. I'd be more than happy with just a 1-0 win, to be honest. But I'm quietly optimistic. If we turn up and perform, we'll beat them. Just the same as we've said for every other game, and it's just not happened. But hopefully the players will be well up for this one. They've got no reason not to be up for this. They should be out there fighting for their own pride, their own professional pride, and they owe us big time this season.
Brian?
Always confident. You know,
Just
I
Did you see the amount of cases they had, Paul?
I did.
Dear God, Scots will get that many cases of that, I don't think.
I'll send you the
Right.
picture.
Are you sure you're going to have him at the clock?
It's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun. This is a quiet game for me, this one. Normally it's a couple of the tonic up the road.
That he's the shot today for me more than anyone is Skpe wrong, because it's his last Celtic Rangers game, the Celtic shot. Like I'm expecting him to maybe grab hold of the game, hopefully, give us a few glimpses of what Scotland can do in these games, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's say it's his last game against him. In all fairness, this is going to be a last game for a lot of these boys against him. And even, he wasn't going to make wholesale changes today. That's big. But for the rest of the season, it should be wholesale changes. He's picked his team. He's picked what we would say is probably the strongest team. And these boys always are performance. Who knows when you will see them all together in the same Celtic team ever again, if we ever do. This is the game for them all. Scott Brown, he's the one that should be rallying them, getting them going. And, he's a great servant for us. So he should be, they owe him and they owe us.
It's going back to what Michael was saying to us, Mark, in the last few podcasts. Like, these players shouldn't need motivation coming into this game. They should be motivated themselves coming in their rivals and things. Like, they should be motivated themselves. It's not up to John Kane to motivate them. It's up to the players to motivate themselves, come into this game and grab hold of the game, that they know how much it means to the club, isn't it, Mark?
Well, Brian said earlier, these players have all been over the course with Celtic, won trophies, piles of trophies with Celtic. We've just drastically deteriorated this season. And the players need to do this today, because that's the reason will haunt some of them for the rest of careers that they have. How they've threw this away, and how they've, looking back on it, the way they've not performed, they've not even looked interested in some of the games. This is their final chance to put in a performance for themselves, for the club, and for the fans. Because half of them, we've said that half of them aren't going to be here next season. So at least go out there and shows a bit of fight and a bit of dig.
Score predictions.
I'll say 2-1. 2-1. We'll win 2-1.
Brian?
2-0. Us. Goal in both halves.
I'll go with Mark. I'll go 2-1. I think that's what I think. There's always a chance we're going to concede from a set piece or something, but maybe we'll have less set pieces to concede that Laxell isn't playing, I think, today. Rob McNair said I'm going 3-0 to Rangers as we are gash. And like
that. Don't allow that talk.
But like, going by the fans not being in the stadium this season, has that taken away the voice in this game?
This wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. If we were in the stadium, this wouldn't have happened. Lennon wouldn't have been able to stay so long. The players wouldn't have been able to underperform so long. There's no, the fact that the fans in the stadium is a big thing, especially this season. Everybody was buzzing for this season. If it was building up to this season, the players would never have got away with it, and they've got away with it. And it's going to be a case of we're all disappointed. They'll all move on to different parts of their career. We'll still be disappointed. But they would never have got away with it if the fans were in.
Mark?
It's played a big part in it. And I think that's affected the Derby games a lot as well. There's no atmosphere in the ground. It's just, there's a bit of a damp squib, isn't there? I mean, they're never greatest football matches to watch, but there's always that intensity about them and that's been missing for them this season.
Perfect. I'll move on 2v4 and I'll see you again at half time. Hopefully we'll be talking good at half time. So I'll see you again, lads, and I'll talk to you at half time.
Cheers, boys.
Thanks, Brian. See you later.
So, folks, it's just with myself, Paul, for the first half watch along. We'll be joined by Mark and Brian again at half time to have a half time, lads. Hopefully, we'll be up 1-2-0 by then. Sorry about the echo. I hope the echo is fixed now. What's your thoughts on the live chat, lads? With the starting lineup, is it what you would have went for? Were you expecting changes? Be interesting to see how the referee does today in his first Celtic and Rangers game. Is he going to bottle it, or will he make the correct decisions in yellow cards and sending off? So, hopefully not for us, but for Rangers. I agree, George. I turn up and we'll win. I think that's what Brian was echoing. That this team is, when they're on form, they're capable of beating any team in Scotland. But I think that's been the problem this season, is that we're not on form. Good to see Morris down on the floor and Celtic playing on. Sky Sports would have had subtitles to me today for Chris Boyd, but they didn't. I couldn't really understand what he was saying. Score predictions there from yourselves, lads, on the live chats. What way do you see this going? I'm happy with the start. I think Celtic have started well. They're pushing up. They're getting stuck in. So I think we can be happy with the first 2 minutes of the game. Isaiah, Callum, one. Oh, Jesus. Connor. Good play, lads. Well done. You know, there's Aya like a bull running forward. Short corner by Tunnel. I mean, like, how's that a free? If he jumped on top of Scott Brown, Scott Brown was entitled to go off the ball. Like, you know, these games, like these days, like you can't touch the keeper even when you're jumping up for a corner. You know, the keeper's going to get the benefit of the doubt. Like, it's ridiculous. Unlucky, Taylor, unlucky. I can see the more we foul Morris, the more we wind him up, that he's going to do something stupid, and hopefully he gets sent off. And it's okay, that'll do. I agree, Rob. So I would say it was a 50-50 tackle, you know, but that's the modern game now, isn't it? This that you can't jump up against the keeper, isn't it? That if the keeper goes down, the keeper will get a foul. I've seen it so many games this season, not just in the Scottish League, but in numerous leagues, that the keeper always gets the benefit of the doubt. That if the keeper just goes down, he will get the free kick. Like, it's good that we're starting to push up on Rangers, you know, put them under pressure on their side of the pitch. So we were hoping for that. They would push up, that we wouldn't sit back and let them control the game. Uh, Glasgow Green, I was actually surprised Griffin wasn't playing myself. I thought, going by John Kenny's comments during the week, that Griffiths would play a role in this thing. So I think we'll see Griffiths coming off the bench, just as the lads were saying just before the match. Is he fully fit to start the game like this? I am expecting Edward to do something today, though. I you know how much he's let us down this season, and you know, he's going to be gone this season. Give us one last hurrah before you go. I agree, Rob. It's pride and stopping them going unbeaten in the league, because I think where you're, you know, we can't let Steve Rangers go unbeaten in the league. It's unheard of, you know, and with us doing our invincible season, the triple treble and stuff like that, and going unbeaten in the league in domestic cups and stuff like that, you know, for them to think they're still unbeatable is just ridiculous. Anytime there's a corner or free kick against us, it's like a penalty against us at this stage, which the way we've been this season. I agree, Bobby. You know, it is a very bad thing going into a Celtic and Rangers match, not getting it doing. You know, it was a long time since I've been anxious before a Celtic and Rangers game, and this season the way we've been playing, you know, there's always a worry going into these games now. But Rob, going by your defending, you know that's this problem has been around for Celtic for years. You know, the defending set pieces. I think the reason we got rid of them so many years because we always had good goalkeepers in Craig Gordon, Fraser Foster. You know, they made good saves, great saves that kept us in the games. But this season, more so, we've been found out because our goalkeeper's situation was so bad. You know that, and we've been found out of set pieces that we can't defend them. You know, but it's not just this season. And thing, as you said, it's gone back since the Gordon structure. It has never really improved. Celtic have always been bad in defending set pieces. Jesus, lads. That was close again. That's going back to like a bad defending again, like that cross coming in, like straight across the box. There's no one there. Well done, Kenny, for killing. But Jesus Christ, like I mean, that was close. Like you know, we're lucky. Like Marston caught that back properly. You know that he got a bad touch in it. Like we are looking. There was no one falling in there. Like that's bad. Like Slippy G. He's a long way to go if he thinks he's going to become Liverpool's next manager. There's a long way to go. What goalie, Bobby? I agree, Joe. What goalie? I've never saw a team in all my life having three keepers playing one season with no injuries or anything like that. I've never seen a team play three keepers in a season. Ridiculous. Maybe we should have signed Xander Clark on loan for this match and shown him up front. Maybe he could have scored against Rangers. And saved two penalties, by the way. That's true, Barry. We've started well and control the game isn't the issue. It's just our defence, really, isn't it? You know, here's the bull again moving forward. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what you want. That's what you want, Forrest doing, running down like cutting in and shoot. That's what we missed this season. Came off Elanusi, did it? The back of Elanusi, I think. Would Welch be your player of the season this season, lads? He's certainly done well since he came in, and would you put him down for player of the season this year himself? I think it's between himself, Oyer, and Tornell, maybe the three of them. It's really hard to pick a player of the season with this Celtic team this year. Well done, El Lucy. Well done. That's true, Barry, about Tornell. You can see he wants it. And anytime he's played, he's tried and he's thinking. But the one thing I can't understand is about the situation with Tornell is like why he always gets substituted. When he be best player in the pitch, sometimes he always gets substituted. I just really can't understand that. Free kick, surely. Yellow card. Well, that's nice to see for a change, isn't it? A yellow card for Rangers. Bit harsh, if I must say it myself, but we'll take it. That's true, Glasgow, isn't it? That if we're picking Walsh for player of the year and he's not played that many games, is ridiculous. He only kind of came in during the start of the season when we had loads of injuries and defence was playing poorly. He just got this chance by luck, really. I don't think he was expecting to play this many games. So it's hard to actually think about him being player of the year. Isn't it? It's ridiculous. It is. We don't want to curse him now and make a mistake. That's all. That's one thing we don't want to do now at this stage of his career. Just skipped past us again and did Kent. Push it up. Don't play it back. Look for a pass forward. Come on. That seems to always be the Celtic way since Lee Lennon came in. It's always kind of passing side to side, passing back side to side. Move the ball forward. Get on top of him. Free kick. "20 minutes in, lads. What's your thoughts? How we started, or I was expecting Zor to start today, but it kind of did surprise me that Kennedy picked Brown. But at least we all know Zor would keep the ball moving forward, and I think that's the main thing I spotted with Brown in the last match was he kept passing the ball back side to side when he got it. I agree, Rob. The game's going fine, but they have cut us open on a few occasions there, and too easily for my liking. Very too easily. It's Turnhill. And Lucy out on the left. It's a booking. I have not think this referee is going to be card happy today, lads. Get up, you stupid cunt, Roof. Big fucking bald patch in your head. So enough from heading the ball anyway. That's just not that ball patch. As I think my stream is a small bit behind, but bear with me. Oh, Jesus. That lad's Elanusi, was it, that took that shot, was it, Elanusi? Ah, McGuire got a tip to it, lads. I agree, Mark. That was a save there, wasn't it? That was some save, but that's typical Al McGregor in these matches, isn't it? He steps up, doesn't he? Is it McGregor's off, lads, is he? Oh my God. I said, lads, this referee is going to be card happy today. Stupid for McGregor as well, isn't it? On the yellow card, and it just sums up our season, like. I mean, you can't go in for a tackle like that in the yellow card, lads. What do we do now, lads? Who do we take off? Do we bring on Zorro? What do we do here? I agree, Jeffrey. What a fucking season. It just sums up our season this year, don't it? It just sums it up. It was stupid by McGregor to go to Glug like that. Stupid of him to when he's on the yellow card. You know, you just don't give the referee decision to do that. You know, you just don't. Unlucky, John. Unlucky. Who said in the live chat he didn't score from set pieces? There we go. Well done at that. 1-1. Come on! In your face, Gerard, you. Beep. It's just what we need, lads, because we've played well, like, and you know, considering the sending off, you know, that was a very good comeback so quickly. Jesus Christ. Bale was lucky there, lads. He was lucky there. He put that ball back into a dangerous area when he saved that. Ah, for fuck's sake. Come on, Scott Brown, like, Jesus Christ. All his time winding up Morales there during the seasons, like, and he can't even put in a proper tackle against him. Get him off. Get him off. It's no harm he's leaving the club this season. I mean, come on, like. I mean, that's shocking by Scott Brown, like, shocking. I mean, Bain should have done better as well there. Like, Jesus, come on, lads. That's just shocking. That should have been saved. Like, this is ridiculous. Bad defending, bad goalkeeping, ridiculous. That's your fault, Scott Brown. No one else. That's your fault. Should have never left have that shot been on the goal. Never. I agree, Jay. The difference in keepers. I agree, Jeffy. The difference in keepers. Bain should have saved that. But he shouldn't be in a position to save that. Brown should have been done better there. You know. Christ, lads, here we go again. Think we're in for a long day here, lads. Long, long day. Do we need to bring on Zor now, lads? Do we need to bring him on? Because they're walking straight through this midfield line, walking straight through. Like, what cover Scott Brown provide in the back line? Nothing. Nothing. And why Kendi can't see that is just beyond me. Like, is he watching the same game as I'm watching? For Christ's sake. Painful watching this, lads. Painful. Half time, Mark. Toss again by Forrest, lads. I'll be changing my stream on half time, so just bear with me until half time, lads. No, I don't think it's... Bear with me, lads, I'm just changing streams, so hopefully I'll be up at yourselves live. What's your thoughts, lads? Have we started well, or is it the same old Celtic conceding 4 goals? Is Edward? Can we be disappointed, lads? Have we played well enough, or is it the same old story with the Celtic defence and Celtic team? You know, what changes do we make at half time? Do we bring Zara on, or do we change it around, or do we keep it the same? Sure, Skpe can't stay on for the second half, but we know he will. Do we go 2 up front and just go for it?
Well, what'd you make of that, Paul?
Yeah. Half time. What's your thoughts, Mark?
Oh, terrible. That second goal was terrible, wasn't it?
Terrible, like, but that's why we were saying why Scott Brown shouldn't be on the pitch. You know, he's getting skinned like even in the midfield he's getting skinned, and he just got skinned in the box there again. Like, you know, that's ridiculous defending, Mark, wasn't it?
Awful. It was. But still, there's no way that Kennedy will sub him. He'll start the second half.
Yeah, but he'll keep the same. I was expecting a reaction after the Karen Mack sending off. Like, I don't think we can disagree with the sending off, Mark, can we?
No,
You know,
no,
it was stupid by Karen Mack.
he had to go.
Going to ground like that on the yellow card is just suicidal, Mark. You're giving the referee decision to make. You know, you don't give him the decision to make. Like, it was just, you know, we were saying like before, like Cadillac wasn't going in for tackles enough and stuff, and we can see why he's not going into tackles enough, can't we?
He's not the best at timing tackles. I've noticed that with him over the years, but that day it was just silliness. Even the first one, I didn't think the first one was really a booting. But
No,
but it was.
well, I did also see the man.
He was already booked.
Yeah, but I was an awful feel like with this new referee that he was going. I said it during the watch song. He's going to be card happy, lads. He's going to be. Jonas said that about him, didn't he, last week? That he's a card happy referee, and he tackle our thing. He'll book. Yeah, Jonas didn't rate him when we talked about him.
You know, Brian? Oh no, Welshy's cut off there. I thought he was connected. Jonas did say that about him. I wouldn't say they've overran us. Even when we've went down to 10 men.
It just sums up the season, Mark, the way we played the season. You know, the defence again is weak, like, you know. But you can't really blame the defence for Scott Brown's goal. That was Scott Brown's fault. That goal. But Bain should have saved that as well, Mark.
Bain should have done better with it.
You know, but I'm going to put a point of view of what Roy King was saying. He should have never had that shot. Do you know? That's what Roy King said. He should have never had that shot. Scott Brown should have never let him be able to have that shot. You know? It's ridiculous. Like, you know, we haven't played badly, but we're losing the midfield back now, Mark, and that's where it has to change. And I can't see why Kennedy can't see that, like that. They're running through us that since the booking, you know, they're running through the team.
We're still, it's going to be tough even to get a draw out of this now, I think. It really is. He'll need to change something. But he's not going to take Brown off, but I'd even put Sorrow on. But who would you take off? Just even having Sorrow and Brown in the midfield. But then when you're chasing a goal, you're not wanting to take off.
That's going defence. Like, yeah, that's going defence.
That would be different if we were 2-1 up and doing that.
You know, that's the problem. Like, you're chasing the game now. Like, do we go 2 up front? Maybe take off and lose the Forest and go 2 up front, but then you're taking away the risk. You know,
and leaving myself exposed at the back. They're just going to sit back and try and hit us in the counter attack now, aren't they?
You know, like it just sums up Celtic this season. Like, you know, the defending again, like, and the way the 2 goals, like, they were avoidable, Mark. That's what they were.
There were I wouldn't call them lucky goals, do you know what I mean? But they were avoidable, especially the second one.
You know,
it's not even. You can't even say it's bad luck. You can't even put it down. Oh, we're just unlucky. We're not just unlucky. We're just not doing. We're not doing the simple things right. That's basically what it is.
Basically, what it is, the simple things right. You know, and that's basic defending what you should. Like, and like, thing that gets me, like John Kenny saying that Scott Brown is irreplaceable in the Celtic team. Not on that performance. He's not. You know.
No, in Minnie's performances this season, it's just time's caught up with him. There's nothing we can do about it, and it's just showed too much. It's shown too much loyalty to him this season. But
they're cutting through Kenny as well, Mark.
What?
Yeah, they're cutting through Kenny as well, aren't they?
Aye, Kenny's no doing too hot again.
How fit is Forrest, do you think?
Oh, he looks lively enough. Seems to be running plenty. I don't think he'll last the 90 minutes, but I don't think he'll play the full 90 minutes. Fit enough to be playing.
Do we bring Griffiths on Denmark if we're chasing a goal and go two up front? You know?
That would probably be that would be a change I would go for. Griffiths for Forrest and go two up front.
Yeah, two up front. He has to go for it, Mark, don't he? Because fair enough, he got the goal from a set piece, like, but you know, we've created a few chances, like, but you have to go two up front. I'm just watching the Calamar sending off there again, like, you know, that's ridiculous, like, you know, even the goal they scored, like, you know, that's even after Calamar got sending off, like, you know, it was a lucky goal, like, you know. Off roof more than anything.
First tackle there is just showing you that first tackle. Like, I don't think the first tackle was a yellow. I think that was soft.
Yeah, but that's going back to what
the second one. You can't argue with that.
You know that's going back to what Jonas has said. Like that, don't give this referee decision because he's card happy. Like I think Kent made the most of the first one as well, didn't he?
I did. I made the mistake and done like that. You know they're going to do that. Our players do the same thing. But McGregor shouldn't have gave the referee the chance to make a decision. He shouldn't have went in for that tackle. It's just silliness.
Silliness, Mark, for such
experience.
And more likely he's going to be, if he stays next season, more likely he's going to be the captain next season, and he's making silly things like that. Like you know that was just a stupid decision he made. Like you know,
it's the kind of thing you expected for Scott Brown when he was younger. That was the kind of stupid tackle Scott Brown used to get into trouble for when he was younger and that. And it's, it's not really like McGregor to be like, although he's not the best tackler, but his experience should.
Oh, he's not that. Yeah, exactly.
His experience should have took over there and I'm not certain to get this ball here, and if I don't, I'm off. It's not as if it was like Kamara was an open goal ready to shoot or anything like that.
You know, I mean, for a player who hasn't scored against Celtic in years, and they get 2 goals in the last 2 games against us, and you know the way he's went past Scott Brown is just, I actually couldn't believe it the way he just walked past him. Like you know, he showed Scott Brown the wing, and Scott Brown just left him going the inside. Like it's just ridiculous. Like you know.
Brown. I find it hard to slate Brown because he's been a great servant for us. But even Brown himself should have, tell people, look, I know I'm not playing at the best I'm at. A wee rest might have done me a power of good.
You know, it's as you said, like it's more pride now for Scott Brown playing the Jaws. Like, but pride is more to the. How am I going to say this? Like the fans want more than pride. Like, do you know what I mean? They want you actually playing on the pitch.
They want to perform. It's not about pride. It's about the performances that you're putting in. And Brown, it's been played far too much this season for a start. I know he's super fit for his age, but he's still an older guy now. There's no way Scott Brown should have played the amount of games he had this season, especially when we've got Sorrow sitting there. We've not seen much of him, but what we've seen for him, we've been impressed with. He certainly deserved more game time than he got this season. 100%, Sorrow should have had more game time and eased into the team.
Marcus, go back to the difference in keepers again today, isn't this?
Night and day. McGregor's pulled off a couple of cracking saves here again. It's just what he seems to do in these games, isn't it? I think it's JFP that keeps saying it, that he's worth
And it's the difference in keepers. Like,
JFP,
it's the, like,
but he's worth so many points to them a season, and he really is. He's a good age as well, but keepers can play on for longer. But see when he does retire, he'll be a huge miss for Rangers, huge.
without doubt, without doubt. But like that was it was poor goalkeeping by Bain. Like, you know what I mean? It was, Mark, being beaten on your near post like that when he was standing. I know there was power in the shot, like, but he didn't even get a hand to it, Mark. Do you know what I mean? He didn't even get a hand to it, like, it just flew straight past him before he actually reacted to the ball. It looked like,
Once again, Bain's just proving again that he's no good enough to be a number one at Celtic.
He's not, Mark. You know what I mean? And like people were saying, like, maybe we should have thrown Barkas in there today, or even Conor Hazard, but none of the keepers have been good this season. You know, you just can't blame one. Like, it's just been a big problem this season. I know we can see why. Like, like shots and that, like, they're basic saves for a keeper. Like,
Oh, he should have done better with it. No, the keeper. I mean, keepers themselves will tell you they hate getting beat at their near post. Because it makes them look a bit silly. It does, because they shouldn't be getting beat at the near post.
I think Stevie Woods will be raging with a goal like that conceded against one of his keepers. I think Steve Woods would be raging with that goal being conceded. What do you think Ken said at half time, Mark, to these players?
What do I think Kennedy will say to them? Oh,
Yeah.
I think he'll be saying, "Oh, you've been unlucky." Honestly, I can't ever see John Kennedy reading a riot act. Do you know, I can't see him in there bawling, shouting. I just don't see it. He'll be in there trying to gee them up and encourage them and say, "You're playing well, we're down to 10 men, but we can still get something out of the game." That kind of pish, for want of a better description.
Exactly, but I can't see no one in the dressing room screaming at each other. Do you know what I mean? That seems to be the one thing I haven't seen from this team this season. No one seems to be shouting or grabbing a grip of someone. Do you know? They don't like. This whole team's a fun. Do you know what I mean?
If you look on Twitter and that, there was punch-ups in the dressing room every weekend, weren't there, apparently? So you can't say they weren't arguing on it if you want to believe all that rubbish.
I surely, Mark, kind of don't believe, because if there was punch-ups, Mark, there would have been some fight on the pitch. Like, if there was a punch in the dressing room between two players, sure, it'd be gone. One player would want to come out and prove himself, but you can't really see that then, can you? Do you know what I mean?
No, I didn't believe all that. I mean, there was stories of Griffiths and Lennon had to get pulled apart and all that garbage. I just don't believe anything like that.
Well, I do believe Lennon was being pulled apart because he was being pulled apart in the pub there not so long ago. We shed some light on
that because a guy went out and got steaming drunk. Know what I mean? Some overreaction to that.
Yeah, but that's the modern day, Mark, isn't it? Take the picture of it. They never take the picture beforehand or after. They just put up the most thing that's going to get the hits, really, isn't it?
That's all it is. And then people putting two and two together and coming up with five, going on about his mental health. The guy was just out steaming drunk and made an arse himself. We've all done it. We've all done it. Get that drunk, you felt a bit sorry for yourself.
Too many times.
we caught phone.
I turned up drunk to a game and we were drinking, like, it was a drink called Donkey's Bollocks. You put whiskey, vodka, anything you could find in your parents' house into a bottle, and we all drank it. So that was on a Friday night. So we had a game on the Saturday morning, and we were top the league, and we were playing a team at the bottom of the league, and I was in goal. And to say, I wasn't the best is an understatement. Like, we lost 8-0 at one stage. I went up to catch the ball from a corner, and the ball was already in the goal. It was like, happy days though, but that's, at least I had an excuse, I'm sure I doubt if Bain was out vodka last night after that,
be on it the night then, wouldn't he? If he keeps on playing like he's done here, he'll need more than vodka.
But where do we go in the second half, Mark? Back to the game, like, where do we go? Like,
we've got to the old cliche, we've got to try and get a goal, but we've got to try and keep it tight at the back and not let them cut us open as quick as and easy as they've been doing.
Yeah, because I think if we do get the draw, more realistic, like Rangers will go unbeaten for the rest of the season. It's just ridiculous. But like we have a chance here, like that should be motivation. Anything, beat your rivals, not let them beat. You know, but you can't say we've been unlucky with the goals now because it's poor defending again by them. Like, you know what I mean? It's poor.
That's all. It's that.
You know,
It comes down to is poor defending. Simple mistakes.
you know.
We're not doing the simple things right.
Yeah, hopefully my stream is thing is I've changed the channels, Mark. So am I right? We're sending off the ref is coming off the pitch now, and we're ready to get on with the game.
Ready to kick off here, aye. Right, just let you go on with it, Paul Bud, right?
Perfect.
Right, good man.
So, lads, your thoughts in the first half? As we can see, there's no changes. It's just a bit of a surprise to me. You know, I thought we'd either bring Griffiths on or bring Zora on, but it doesn't really surprise me that John Kennedy hasn't made. Now, how can he see that this performance is good enough? Is just it's beyond me. Like I can't realistically get in the head of John Kennedy and see what game he's watching at this stage. You know how he's not seeing that Scott Brown isn't up for the game and he's getting skinned all the time. Is I can't see it. Like, I agree. Kenny has been poor again, lads. Terence is saying, like, and I agree totally, Jar. He's 3 games I think he's played against Rangers, lads, and 3 games he's been at fault, letting players get past him too easily and things like that. You know, he's not the player that I expected him to be. You know, I thought he would be better being a Premiership player, and I could say the same about Yesi. I thought he'd be a better player, but you know, but that's going. That this is my point, lads, of loan signings. You know, we're too dependent on loan signings, not just this season, but over the last few seasons. Look, I agree, it has worked for us to some extent. Like, but sure, we want to be making some more permanent signings next season and having them more settled here, like that they're going to be here for longer than one season. You know. Glasgow Green, maybe it was the first booking was for Vorrell by Caramack, but again, you know, he was on a booking. He shouldn't have went in for that tackle for the second one. You know, he did give the referee decision, and Jonas was saying to us about this referee. He's card happy, he's whistle happy. You know, look, we are weak now in the midfield, like because Brown is in there, and it's like we're down 2 men in that centre midfield now because Brown hasn't the legs. You know, they're going to walk through the midfield. You know, why not take Brown off and bring Zara? You know, I don't understand the way Kennedy's thinking and the way he sees that Brown is playing a vital role in this club this season. You know, I get what people are saying. I agree with you. He's been a great servant to the club. He's been thinking, but there comes a time when you have to say, look, Scott, you're sitting out this game. It's a must-win game. You know. I agree with you, Terence. Look, 4 loan signings this season, like, you know, and have the 4 of them came in and made a difference this season? No, they haven't. You know, and they're not cheap loans either. You know, they're expensive loans that Celtic did. Like because they could have signed a player for instead of these loans. You know, I think Moy will be a good player to have under a new manager next season. That if he had a style of play that would suit Moy, you know, a fast fleeing flow. But you know, we're just sitting back now again. You know, like these were avoidable goals. Like we conceded against Rangers throughout the season. You know, they're avoidable goals, but it's going back to how poor the goalkeeping situation is, the defence is. You know, it's going back to them, and it's going back to the fact that Scott Brown is in the team as well. You know, because as I said to Mark, I'll put a Roy King term in it that ball should never have even been shot at Scott Brown. Fair enough, Scott Brown should have saved it, but Scott Brown should have never left him have taken that shot. Never left it. He left him caught inside him, which you don't do in your own box. Great turns. That's going back to what JFP was saying. Like McGregor's at least worth 20 points to them a season, you know. And we saw the difference in the first half, him pulling off these saves, and you know, a save you expect Bain to make is, you know, it's just showing the difference when you have a quality keeper behind the defence. You know, it just breeds confidence. Here's Kent. Oh, offside. Lucky there, lads. We were lucky there again. Well off. But how easy it was for Rangers just to cut through us, like, you know, it's just so easy for them at this moment, you know. And I don't want to see substitutes from Kennedy, the 80th minute bringing on Lee Griffiths, or the 70th minute bringing on Zora, or trying to change things around in the last, you know, get them on now. You know, we've nothing to lose. We're down 2-1. Get them on now. There's a few things came out, lads, that Kennedy was, he came out and said it's all mind games, but go by your last judgments of Kenny so far since he took over, would you want him as director of football to help put a structure into this team from the youth? Do you know how? Do you have confidence? I certainly don't, and I know people are saying at the forum that he was well respected by Rodgers and well respected, but Rodgers had experience working on the director of footballs. He knew the role of director of football. He would have helped Sean Kenny in that role, but not now. I wouldn't want Kenny near this role. You know, that's my own opinion. You know, I've seen enough of Kennedy the last few games, and he's just not up to the job. But I agree, Joe with Kent. I think he has become a big issue in the Celtic Rangers match. He has taken control of this midfield area because, again, look, he has the legs, and he knows he has the upper hand in Skpe Brown. He can get past Skpe Brown, and Skpe Brown's not able to keep up with him. You know, but if he had Zoro in there, would we be saying the same, speaking the same thing? Mark there says there are two things I don't want Candy near: Celtic and cocaine. I don't think there'd be enough cocaine to fill up John Kennedy's nose, but that's my own opinion. That was a great one by El Nusi again, wasn't it, lads? Great one by El Nusi again. You know, and Edward again, you know. That was the sitter by Tornell, I agree. A sitter. But that's just our luck this year, lads, isn't it? It's just our luck. But you see the difference in keepers there, lads. You see Al McGregor screaming at his defence there. You know, that there was a free man in the box there. He was screaming at him. You don't see that from our keepers, you know. You don't see that, you know. That was a sitter. Sorry for the silence, lads, but I was trying to take in that goal. You know, this is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, being hammered by our rivals, bad defending. I mean, look at the run, like he's just empty run into the box. No one tracking him, just letting him run into the box. You know, that's going on by tactics, formation, subtly that John Kennedy, Neil Lennon, or whoever the coaches are this season have been failing in Celtic, because there's no excuse for this. You know, there's no excuse for this. This is just has been poor, unacceptable by Celtic football team this season. You know, it's just soon the better the season finishes and new manager comes in and we have a clean slate next season and just move on. And a lot of these players hopefully will leave the club, because at this moment, one player I could think that would like to stay here is Tornell, but you know, the rest of them, you can question mark every single one of them, lads. Every single one of them. And there's not even a reaction from our bench. Do you know, like here we are now. Christie and Dembele. I'll probably go on just saying, can you blame fans going out Celtic Park putting up these posters at the moment? You know, these players have got away with no fans being in the stadium this year. They obviously don't care because they're getting away with it. And the fans are right, in my opinion, to voice their concerns outside Celtic Park, you know, because this is unacceptable, you know, for being the most dominant club in Scotland for 10 years and to fall so dramatically and badly this season is unacceptable and these are some players who've just come into Celtic. A lot of these players have been with Celtic, you know. Is that the problem? They've been at Celtic for too long. But Gabriel has moved out to Rosie. I think they've moved the goal up to Rosie. JFE, I think they accommodate Christie being on the pitch. He might get a goal in Celtic Park today. So it was Zoe that came off a blow. My apologies. It should have been done earlier. John Kennedy should have been done when the Calamac sending off was there. You know, it should have been done because how you didn't see that we were being walked past, being beaten in the midfield area. No, how it only taken you nearly 60 minutes to see this is just bad management, lack of management skills. You know, is that it, lads? Lack of management skills by John Kennedy that he's not able to see this, that this change should have been made earlier. I think we all gave up on Christy Bobby. You know, I think his attitude this year is unacceptable. You know, I don't know what kind of player he thinks he is, but you know, he thinks he's God's gift to Celtic, but he's certainly not. I agree to Jeffy. I was saying that in the first half that Bain is unable to hold on to a ball. He's putting ball out, shots in him there. He's putting it back into dangerous positions. You know, he's certainly not able to hold on to a ball. Certainly not good enough to be. It just shows the Castro jersey and the quality that they are. That if you tug them, they rip. Think that's the highlight of the day for Celtic fans. That the quality of the Rangers jerseys. I'll be in trouble, lads. I agree with you, Michael. You know, Dina's like saying, like, Jesus, we sponsored Celtic, this great team of Scotland, and look at the performance they're putting in. We lads are just walking straight through the Celtic team now, like for fun, like it's ridiculous. You know, it's just ridiculous. How far we have fallen, lads, is just can't explain it this season, lads. How badly these players have been. You know, bad management, bad coaching, bad attitude, no passion. You could name them all. Name them all. Yes, Terence, we do care, the fans, but obviously these players don't feel the fans' passion for the club. You know, they don't see how hurt we are, how upset we are by these performances this season. I just want this season to finish, and hopefully next week, lads, like, it's time. Like, come out and announce the manager next season. Let us know the rebuild has happened. You know, give us some excitement, lads. You know. Whoever the manager's going to be, and if he's watching this, lads, I'm thinking next manager's going to be saying, "Jeez, it's a big job I have on my hands next season." I reached Michael's almost being rightly pissed, being brought on 3-0 down. That for me, that substitution should have happened straight after the sending off. You know, should have happened after the sending off. I agree with you. I don't think they would have got away with this if the fans in the stadium, and I don't think Lennon would have lasted as long as he did with fans in the stadium this season. You know, I think decisions would have been made earlier, and we wouldn't have been in this situation now. You know, but decisions were made this season badly, too late, on the pitch, off the pitch. Edward, Jesus Christ, that just sums Edward, lads, isn't it? Just sums him up. Flaxell and Griff's loading up, lads. It's going to be 4-1, 5-1 if Flaxell comes on. I mean, like, what's he planning bringing Griffiths on? The 75th minute? You know, get him on now. We've nothing to lose. Go two up front. You know? They're just walking through us, lads. Groove could be on a hat trick today, lads. You know, and he's not even a good player. Can't even put a decent ball into the box, lads. You know, this is embarrassing watching this game. Absolutely embarrassing. I agree, Mike. Yeah, worried is true for next season because like this is a big rebuild, you know, and with so many players expecting to leave, and for a lot of players who fans want to leave next season, who actually might be here next season, you know, it's a big job in the next manager's hand, lads, for Celtic, you know, and of course we want to win the title back, lads, but with the rebuild being on next season, you know, that there has to be some worry there, you know. You know, I think we need a whole new defence next season. A whole new defence. A few lads are saying, and I've said this, I said Walsh has been great this season and thing, but realistically, lads, would you want Walsh as your number one centre back next season? You know? Sky Sports must love Kent, like, because anytime the camera goes on him, Jesus Christ, like, you know, is the cameraman gay or something, or does he fancy Kent? Has he pictures Kent and he's bought a home? You know, is that his love child? Even the jersey's hanging off Mickey Johnson. Right, lads, Lee Griffiths must be rightly pissed, or he must be leaving Celtic next season, because our only really kind of recognised goal scorer on the sidelines, and there's Mickey Johnson's coming on before him. When you need a goal and you're bringing on Mickey Johnson, you know, you have to question John Kennedy's substitutions as well today, lads. You know, too late, no sense, you know, no recognised striker, no up front for us. When you have two on the bench, I think that's two strikers, lads, that we won't have next season. As Griffiths said, because if Griffiths can't get on when you're 3-1 down, and a youngster, the winger, is coming on before you, you know. Some said he was laughing on the sideline. Maybe that's why he was laughing, that they were bringing out Mickey Johnson instead of him 3-1 down. He actually couldn't believe it, that he's the only recognised striker on the bench. What's your thoughts on that substitution, lads? That Griffiths on the bench, you need a goal, he's bringing on Mickey Johnson. Well, if Yeshi's going, Bobby, if Yeshi's going to be gone next season, you know, Celtic are obviously going to be signing him as a loss, because there's no way I can see another club pay 5 million for Yeti. You know, and how Celtic saw this player as a 5 million player is beyond me. Nice to see a Rangers player down in the pitch, Hart. But of course, the Celtic player didn't even touch him, but I'm delighted for him that he's off. Sums up. No doubt Stephen Gerrard will probably still blame the referee for that injury there. Probably said it was the shadow of Celtic that came in for the tackle. I agree to John. Having no strike on the pitch, 3-0 down, is, I actually can't see the thinking of it. I actually can't see what John Kennedy is thinking, having no striker on the pitch when you're 3-1 down, looking for a goal and trying to get back into the game and be the last 10 minutes go for it. But I honestly agree with you that there's not a brain cell between this whole backroom team, and I can see that why Kennedy is not up for, one, a manager's role, two, a director's football role. If best, have him as a coach, not even first team coach in the Celtic team, because I personally don't rate him. one player who actually seems to be pissed off and gone by his reaction to that shot is Ayer. You know, he must be. He looks like a player who's hurt this season. You know, that the way this team is playing. You know, he actually does. I'd love to see Ayer stay, Bobby, as well. I think he's would definitely be my captain for next season. Definitely don't think Callum is captain material, and I think the new manager coming in should be able to make his own decision on who he wants to be the next captain. You know, not by going, oh, this is Callum. He's not going to be the Celtic captain for next season. It should be up to the manager to decide who he wants to captain me. Maybe he wants to give to one of his own players. He brings in some leader, because I certainly don't think Callum Mack is a leader on the pitch. Jesus, lads, the misses today, like, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I'm glad the sooner the better this season finishes. You know, I expect the club to make an announcement this season, next week, sorry, about this season, that the new manager will be in place for next season, and we know who he is, and that the rebuild is happening. Who do we blame for this, lads? This season, who do we blame? Do we blame Lennon? Do we blame the players? Do we blame Peter Lahr? Do we blame the backroom staff? Are they all involved? Are they all to blame of this season? It's amazing as that we haven't seen Raz pick up a red card today, or even a booking. You know, that even Scott Brown couldn't even do that, wind him up. You know, fucking fatty is all he is, a fatty. asked the question, lads, in the last Celtic Rangers match, the Scottish Cup, would James Forster made a difference in this team? I don't think any player coming in from the first team could actually make a difference to this team at the moment. Because these performances are just unprofessional, disrespectful to the fans. I agree to John on the live chat there. John Murray saying, did it actually make a difference in getting rid of Lennon and putting Kennedy in charge? Has it made a difference? It's the exact same formations. It's the exact same players. He's not giving you a chance. What the fans actually want to see what we have for next season. Play the players who want to play here. Let them have a show a bit of heart that they want to be with the club, because I certainly wouldn't have picked these players today. I definitely wouldn't have picked Scott Brown. I definitely wouldn't have picked Edward. I definitely wouldn't have Christie coming on the pitch. And folks, join myself and Mark and our guest tonight at 6 o'clock on the podcast, where we have a talk about today's game. We thought we would have this. A bit happier, but it just seems to be the same old story with this Celtic team at the moment. We have some guests on. We have Michael. We'll get Barry on again to have a chat with us. Welshy, if he's alive or in the bottle of a bear bowl, we'll have to see on Welshy's condition. You could understand why someone is drinking today after watching the Celtic team, because this is just ridiculous. For me, lads, as a Celtic supporter, and my love for the club, this hurts. I can, as Michael Conroy said, we can take defeat. But not taking defeat against your local rivals without a fight or thing. Not just this game, but the previous Celtic and Rangers game and other games that we lost and had no fight in there. I agree, Max, that every Rangers player looks fitter than Celtic. They look stronger, they look fitter, but as myself and Mark spoke in the podcast there this week, that there's a fella called Tim Williams in charge of the sports science side of Celtic, and twice he was demoted on the previous managers. He was demoted by Ronnie Dyler. He was demoted by Brendan Rodgers, as they thought the players wasn't fitter, they weren't stronger, and they weren't thing. He left the club after Martin O'Neill left. He was brought back in by Lennon in his first spell. And when Lennon came back to take over Rodgers, he was brought back in under Lennon as head of sports science. And you can see why this fella here isn't up for the job. This fella Tim Williams, because that's an area certainly where I think that needs to be changed is the fitness of this team this season, because it has just went downhill since the Neil Lennon management came in. Clueless and heartless, JFP. I agree totally with you. I can't watch it anymore, lads. 4-1 down. I just really can't. I mean, how the feck do we go from a free kick outside our box to 4-1 down? You know, Jermaine Defoe, nearly 40 years of age, nearly. I say nearly, hit nearly, and he fucking turns Welsh like that. I'm sorry, lads. I praised Welsh a lot, but he had a bad game today, and he's actually shown that he's a young defender, and he has a lot to learn. A lot to learn. And I don't think he's ready to be a number one centre back next season either. I'm hurt. I'm pissed off at this Celtic team. Pissed off at the backroom team. Pissed off at John Kennedy more so today than anyone for picking these players for the formation.
Hello, Paul.
Yeah, Mark.
I just came on there because I've turned that off. I don't know if the final whistles went or no yet. That was awful, wasn't it?
You're here. Mark, I honestly don't know what to say. Am I hurt? I'm hurt, but I'm more pissed off than hurt. The way this season went, not just today, Mark. The way this season went has just been ridiculous. You know, like again another disappointing result against our rivals, Mark. My question is,
I thought we played better in the second half than we did in the first, and we created a few chances again whenever I took them, and then that was just a sucker punch at the end there. Young Welsh did a bit of. Heard you saying that. Young Welsh didn't exactly cover himself in glory there, didn't he? No.
what you said, Mark, and some people have been crying for him, saying he's good enough for next season. You'll have him, but you went back saying that he's an experience, and it's just showed. I think in this game today, Mark, that he is inexperienced.
I did. I said that on the pods when people were saying he should be first choice. No, I don't think he's a great young player. He'll hopefully goes on to be a great player for us, but I don't think he's ready to be one of the main men in the centre of defence. No, the new.
No,
definitely a good squad player. Definitely a good squad player.
But going back to what I was saying about John Kennedy, you have to question his substitutions today. One, they were too late, reacting after Cal McGregor sending off, bringing on Zorro nearly in the 68th minute when we're 3-1 down. And then bringing on Mickey Johnson when you have a recognised striker on the bench in Lee Griffiths when you need a goal.
It was odd substitutions, definitely odd. The decisions that he made with them, but I mean, what else could they have done? I mean, I'm totally disappointed, totally got it with that today, really.
I think we can see now, Mark, that that Griffiths has finished at the club.
I think
if he hasn't come on today, I think a decision has already been made about Griffiths. The deadline was supposed to be on Friday. I think that decision has already been made.
I think you're right. I think Griffiths will be away definitely now. I mean, even if he's sitting there, what's he thinking to himself? If Celtic were trying to get him to stay, or he was wanting to stay, and they were supposedly talking to him about it, but I don't think there was any positive. It was ever going to be a positive outcome. I think it was always.
You would expect him to come on in this game. Do you know what I mean? Being 3-1 down, your only recognised goal scorer on the bench. Do you expected him to come on during the match at some stage. You know what I mean? But I'm going to bring it back, Mark. And we said it before the game, and we questioned this. Is his decision to play Scott Brown, and we saw today that Scott Brown, fair enough, he's been a great servant to the game. He's been a loyal player for Celtic during the years, but he should have not been playing that game today, and he was at fault for that second goal.
I said after the last game, I wouldn't have played any of them. See, Edward, Brown, I wouldn't have played Edward or Brown. Cal McGregor would have been playing, but see the players that weren't want to be here or aren't here for next season. After we went out the cup to them, we should have just started the rebuild for then. That's when it should have happened.
Would you drop these players now, Mark, for the last, I say, three games we've left? 2 games we've left, I think.
I would drop them. I'd say on the chat when Edward went off, that's got to be his last game for Celtic, yeah. Brown, I'd say that's got to be Brown's last game. What's the point of playing them in the next couple of games?
The fans aren't going to be there, Mark. Do you know what I mean? The fans aren't going to be there to give Brown this farewell. Look, fair enough, we can put banners up for him. Thanks for your service, great. But not play him on the pitch when there's no fans there to say goodbye to him. Get these in, let them see what they can do for next season. And
we'll let the incoming manager, whoever it is, we'll let him have a look at them as well in competitive games.
And I think we saw another side too, Mark, that there was talks about Sean Kennedy being. He came out and he said it was on mind games and stuff like that. But going by Sean Kennedy's last performance as manager and coach and stuff like that, I wouldn't want him to be director of football to have a structure in this team. Yourself?
No, I wouldn't have Kennedy as director of football. I've spoke about before the kind of skill sets that's needed for that kind of position. I know Rodgers spoke up for him for it, but I don't think
Mark was
Kennedy's been out. He's never been outside Celtic to experience anything really.
No, the reason I was saying that, maybe the reason Rodgers wanted Kennedy for that role, because Brendan Rodgers worked with director of football's down south. He knows the way a director of football works, and he'd be able to help Kennedy in that role. But for Kennedy to do that role himself, after what we've seen of him, I think Kennedy has a lot to learn as a manager, and not so as the manager, but as a director of football's role, he's a lot to learn, because I actually couldn't make sense, Mark, of one, his team selection. When we spoke about it numerous times that these players shouldn't be playing, his substitutions today, bringing on the likes of Mickey Johnson. Now, we said before the chat we would have been on Mickey Johnson, but not as a striker.
No, no, it was bizarre. That it really was. I don't know what he's thinking doing that. I take it he'll maybe explain it after the game, but he's made some right crazy decisions while he's had the chance to. He's not even stamped his authority on the squad in any way. He just kind of continued what Lennon was doing. Nothing's changed. The tactics haven't changed. Even the substitutions haven't really changed as much. He's still waiting to the same times. He's not changing things during the game. Just the
You know,
playing the same way that when it's not working, they don't change it. A good manager should be able to change things during the game. Lennon couldn't do it, and it doesn't look like Kennedy can do it either.
it's just shown the lack of them maybe to make tactical changes to a game like that, bringing on a player who would actually change the game. But like I don't see the point, Mark, in bringing on players like 3-1 down and you're reacting 3-1 down. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when you're the first substitution should have been brought on when Callum was sent off. React to that substitution. Do you know what I mean?
But that's what
You
Lennon
know,
used to do. But guys, is it Barry that goes on about it? He used to he sits and watches the Celtic teams, and he can't even tell you the formation that they're playing.
mhm.
That was what it was like with Lennon, and then come the 65th, 70th minute, it was just throwing as many attackers as we can and just charge at their goal. That was basically the plan, and Kennedy he just continued that on. He's not
Yeah.
He's not tried to stamp his own personality on the team. I mean, see, even if the
No.
team was going out there, right, we know we're struggling, but if they're out there and they're playing decent enough football and that, I mean, everybody got excited when we rattled Livingston, but it was still Livingston with no harm to Livingston, but it's
But Matt, he could have tried different formations. Do you know what I mean? I know it's the same players, but he could have tried different formations instead of going this one striker up front. Like we could have went two up front. You know, you could have changed the formations. But as you said, like it was like for like. Do
it
you know what I mean? When
really was. It was just a total continuation of Lennon's time. As if Lennon, it's just as if Lennon was still there. To me, that was a new Lennon team performance there again today.
yeah, you know, like for these players not to even to get a draw, like fair enough, we lost, Mark. We had our chances, but that's the same old story. Celtic not taking our chances and things like that. But the goals we gave away, Mark, are basic goals again. Like, you know what I mean? They're basic goals. They're goals that I was going like, but we've not just been making them this season, Mark. Do you know what I mean? We've been making these for a couple of seasons now. You know, the fact that we had good goalkeepers to save these shots.
They weren't good goals, but we gave them they didn't what they didn't take
Yeah,
for the goals. It was our errors that caused the goals. It really was. If we had enough
you know, is it?
chances, we could have got another couple of goals there. Just again, just the players had no confidence or headers. That Turnbull should have done better with that header he got, and then Moy as well.
Dominic McCoy in the stands today, Mark. What do you think he's thinking watching this match?
Well, he doesn't even like football, does he? He's probably sitting saying, "Oh, I wish I was sitting in my house now."
Probably in mine, one of Christie's shots I said that went over the basket. That would have been a great 3-pointer. You know?
Dominic
You know?
McKenzie, oh, he's a player. He's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, recommend him to Saracens there as a kicker.
I know he's got to be there to kind of show face, and it's a thing to do. But really, he's only there as watching a game of football. He'll,
I expect some announcement this week now that look, the season's done.
well,
Give some joy with the manager or
they need to get the season tickets on sale, and that's to me that's what the kind of tipping point's going to be when they announce the manager, and then the season tickets will go on sale. And they're late as it is, so I think there's a good chance we might hear something this week.
I think we need it, Mark. You know what I mean? I think us as fans need this appointment now. You know, see who the manager is, and at least we know that there is planning now going on behind the scenes, that we know a new manager's in place, and we know then what kind of football this manager is, you know.
As I said the other night, even if it is Eddie Howe, and Eddie Howe is still being paid with Bournemouth to the end of his contract, I still don't see why they can't announce that.
Yes.
It's just like you're like anybody leaving their job, they work their notice.
Bayern Munich there, who came out and said he's taking over the national team, they already have announced that Nagelsmann will be taking over them next season. Do you know what I mean? So I can't see why Celtic can't announce it. Do you know what I mean? That's what's kind of getting me, like why they can't announce it if he's already signed, or
Well,
you know.
you can announce you've signed a player 6 months before you sign them. I mean, if you sign them on like a Bosman, like we done with Dembele and things like that, well, we didn't announce
Yes.
him at the time, it was in the summer, wasn't it? But you can do it with players. He's only got 6 months of his contract to go, but next season he's going to be playing for Celtic. So why can they not just come out and say, Eddie Howe's still under contract at Bournemouth, and when that ends, he'll become the Celtic manager? I really don't see the problem with that.
And what about yourself, Mac? Are you more hurt, or are you more pissed off as what I am?
I'm more disappointed than anything, Paul, to be honest. I can't believe that we've went a full season without beating them. And
Yes.
we've never really showed up against them, to be fair.
No, and it's going back to what Michael was saying, and to what Barry was saying. Like, you don't need anyone to motivate you, Mark, for these matches. Do you know what I mean? You don't need anyone. It's up to you to get motivated for these matches.
Even
So even I
even
didn't look motivated. I mean,
even if you're a foreigner coming into the country, well, most of the world's heard of Celtic and Rangers, but it's even if you're some foreigner coming into a country and signing for Hamilton, when it comes to playing Motherwell, you know that that's the most important game of the season to the fans and to the club, because it's a local derby. It means more than football. It's about a pride for the fans in that. And Celtic and Rangers game's one of the biggest in the world. If a player can't motivate himself for that, it shouldn't be at Celtic. You can say all you want about Kennedy and his decisions and all that, but the actual passion and fight for the team is terrible. And if the players, that's down to the players themselves for me. And if they can't motivate themselves for these kind of games, they don't belong at Celtic Park.
no, exactly, Mark. I couldn't agree more to that. If they can't turn up in these matches, or turn up for the fans in these matches, know how much these matches mean to the fans, they shouldn't be here. And I think we can question a lot of players going by these matches this season, not against other teams, but that they don't belong at this club. The only one I saw who looked real upset today, Mark, and looked thing was Ayer.
I think he's like a natural born winner. I don't.
Yeah.
I think no matter what Ayer's playing at, I think he's that kind of intensity about him.
He's the one player, Mark, that I'd love to hold on to next season. He's the one player, but I can't see it happening. Do you know what I mean? Unless we have a big appointment and he can convince Ayer to stay just for one more season. But Mark, I'm going by that then. Like, that happened to a lot of players. They said to him, stay for another one more season and then we sell you. And then that doesn't happen. It happened with, supposedly, Edward. It happened with Dembele.
Ayer would need to sign a new contract, wouldn't he? He's only a year left in his contract. You can't. I wouldn't turn around and tell Ayer you can stay for a year and then we'll let you leave on a free. I definitely wouldn't do that.
I really can't see him sign a new contract. Mark, would you?
I can't. I would love it to happen, but I really can't see it, Paul.
Like I just found it, Mark, like how easy they found, like, to walk on top of us. To get in our box, just to walk on top of us, like how they found it so easy. Like, it's just, I don't know what to say to it, Mark. How easy Rangers found us in every game this season.
A lot of that I put down to Brown being in the team. Brown was the man. He was the man that was chasing the ball constantly, nipping at their heels. He was all. If a Rangers player had the ball, you turned around and Scott Brown was there nipping at his heels trying to win it back. And it's just not been able to do that. And again,
a lot of people
midfield battle. We were losing the midfield battle, and then
said that, Mark, before the game. We said that, Mark, before the game, like, and people were praising Kent for the thing, like, but praising Kent's everyone, like, Pent's a young lad and he's up against Brown, whose legs are finished, and Brown's not going to go in for tackles. Do you know what I mean? And for all Brown's things about trying to wind up Morales and things, Brass had the last laugh today by skimming him for that goal.
I know.
And that's the one thing that got to me, like that Brown left him get past him so easily, Mark. So easily.
His legs, he's even maybe his mind. You know what I mean? As you get older, your mind doesn't kind of work the same when you're like at that kind of level of professional sport. Just everything with Brown's just in a downhill spiral now, really.
You said it, Mark. Like, you know what I mean? That he shouldn't be playing the number of games he has been this season and last season. He shouldn't have been playing. You know what I mean? We have a player there who, again, I didn't think we saw enough of today in Zorro, but we haven't seen enough of him, Mark, to see if he is able to take over Scott Brown's position. We've only seen glimpses of him.
Well, exactly. We play enough games for these guys to getting plenty of game time. Even we've spoke about it with youngsters as well. But Brown shouldn't have been playing as many games as he's been. And just favouritism, it's a big personality, he's a club captain, and I thought that was all it was. It was just Scott Brown being Scott Brown.
Perfect. So we're going to call it there, lads, for the watchalong. Myself and Mark will be back at 6 p.m. where we'll have a live chat show with some guests, and we'll talk about the match reaction today. We'll talk about hopefully that there'll be an announcement next week, seeing as Dominic McKay was in the stadium today. We'll talk about him, what he might be thinking. For myself, again, thanks for joining me in the watchalong. I was hoping we'd have a better day, but it's been Celtic this season. Thanks again, and we'll see you at 6 o'clock, Mark.
Right, thanks Paul, you've done brilliant again today, pal. That was well done again. Thanks everybody that tuned in and joined us, and join us tonight for the podcast as well. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and please hit the thumbs up button. Okay, thanks very much lads, bye, God bless.